Hey everybody, it's Peach here, Crooked Peach. I am going to make some sweet potato biscuits for you and show you how I use a pastry cutter. Because recently I recommended a pastry cutter to a friend of mine and she got one. And then she realized she doesn't actually know how to use it. So I'll show you. Alright, here we go. This is a variation on the white lily flour light and fluffy biscuit recipe. It's based on this. I did follow directions initially, but I find following directions tedious. So after I do it right, I try to do it different ways. Alright, so this is 2 cups. You don't have to be incredibly precise as you do when you be baking bread. I can't believe I just said that. My apologies, y'all. That's bad English. Alright, 2, a little less than 2, because I put a little extra in that first one. Cups of flour. We'll put the sweet potato here after I do this. Okay, so now the butter. This is where this pastry cutter comes into play. Y'all, you know you're supposed to use really cold butter. You can make noise. My son is taking care of my baking cooking over there so I can do this. Wait, what was I just saying? Yeah, you know how you have to have like super cold butter for your biscuits? Or if you didn't know that, you're supposed to have super cold butter. Alright, well, and just over a half of a stick of butter in this. So I used to literally race trying to get it all cut and chunked and pastry cut into the flour. And then I decided I was going to stop driving myself crazy. So I'm going to show you what I do. After I cut this butter in, very likely, no, actually, I know I will because I'm taking my time. I'm going to be putting this into the refrigerator. Oh, wait, no. If I do that, then okay, I'll tell you what. Just what? Pretend I put it in the refrigerator after I put it together. What that will do is firm your butter back up really good so that you get those beautiful air pockets in your biscuits that help make it so beautiful, fluffy. Alright, so there you go, chunked butter. Just realized I should have done this before I went on camera, but I think it would have been soft. Alright, pastry cutter. Weird looking D-shaped thing. I don't know. I think I got this at Walmart 100 years ago. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did because it's old. It's Farberware, and this little handle thing on mine twists around. I really need to get a new one. Alright, anyway. So we have our butter in here. Let me lower this for you so you can see a little better. We have our butter in here. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to first try to dust these little butter bits with a bit of flour, because it's going to stick to this initially. Alright, so I'm literally using this like a bunch of tiny little knives, and I'm pressing into the butter and turning. I'm pressing in, shaking a little bit, and turning. I kind of like using this little motion here, but it's just for me. Works better with my hands. You do it your way. If you don't happen to have a pastry cutter, by the way, you can cut your butter in using a fork. It is aggravating as crap. I'll tell you that ahead of time. A dinner fork you will not be happy. But if you happen to have a larger serving fork, it works a little bit better. These pastry cutters are definitely the way to go, though. Alright, so usually they say get these little bits of butter down to about the size of a pea. It's going to be close. We'll keep on doing this. Oh, did you see that? So all the butter got up on this D side. Just do it another time. I might do it one more time. I just use my fingers, scrape it up off into the dough again, and make sure I work it in there. Alright. Alright. Here's step 1. Put that butter in there. And most of it, I might have some chunks that are a little bit bigger but most of it, it's like just little pebbles. It kind of feels, I don't know, it feels very nice in your hands. But don't do that. You're going to make it super hot. Alright, then the sweet potato part. So I have here a lovely pre-cooked sweet potato that I put in this handy dandy, pretend like it's a pastry bag. It's just a freezer bag. but it does make it easy to do this. Pull this bit off. I'm literally going to squeeze. I don't know, about that much. A couple few tablespoons. If I feel like the dough isn't moist enough, I might add more, but it's highly unlikely. Alright, and then last little peach way of doing things, the recipe calls for milk. I do not find milk necessary, and we don't keep milk in the house. We don't drink milk. We don't eat cereal. It's toxic. Alright. So, the recipe calls for, what is it? 3/4 cup of buttermilk or 2/3 of a cup of milk. I'm using ice water. These are our water jars. I reuse old spaghetti sauce jars, and this is what we use as our drinking jars. Pack it in the lunches, well, in Chad's lunch, not in Matthew's right now. Right, but that's all I'm going to do. And the ice water part actually also really helps if you've ever made a pastry dough for a pie. You know, oh, that's way too much. What in the world? Let me pour some of this out. Yeah, if you've ever made a pastry dough for a pie, you know it actually calls for ice water. All right, here we are. 2/3 of a cup. And I'm going to get my little handy dandy spatula. Wait, before I add the water, I'm going to kind of do the same thing with that sweet potato, which is also cold. So again, that helps with the dough. I'm going to kind of get it incorporated in there just a little bit, because I don't want to have to work the actual dough. Once I get this liquid in it, I don't want to actually have to work the dough. I'm not looking for gluten. I'm not making bread. I'm making a biscuit. All right. So I got that. Yeah, that might be a little bit more than 2/3 of a cup, so I won't put it all in here right now. Besides which, you know, your relative humidity in your house will affect this kind of a thing. So you might need just a tiny bit more or a tiny bit less. And I'm going to need more than that. Still holding back some of it. Now you see, I'm not stirring this. Like, if I do like this, I'm not making a cake, I'm not making bread. I want it to just combine and just come together, which that's what this is doing right now. All right, now we're going to get our hands a little dirty. Let me get this. Let me clean my plates here. My apologies. Okay. And yeah, I'm going to do this right on top of the counter. I'm going to dust just a bit. It'll still stick a little bit, but it'll be all right. It's fun to play with your food. Sometimes. Sometimes I wait till I'm too hungry and I don't want to play. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect, y'all. All right. I'm just going to go a little bit more on top. And my hands just a tiny little bit. And then I'm going to bring this together. I'm not going to mash it like you would, again, like you would work a biscuit dough. I'm not going to be doing that. That's as much as we want it worked. Right about there. Oh, I love the way the sweet potato looks. It's all swirly. Well, now I'll do one more. There we go. All right. And now, using your hands, not a rolling pin, I'm going to mash it out. And again, it won't be perfect. That's all right. So, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with that thinness. Probably about half an inch. The parchment. Oh, son, will you turn the oven on to, what was it? 475. Thank you, thank you. All right, now let me get my little biscuit cutter. If I didn't have this, I could use a jar lid with the center punched out, and that's about the right thickness too. The the height of a jar lid. Not this kind, but the kind, you know, that you would pan with here in America. All right. Get this one. And this one. That one. And this one. All right. Usually I get 6 biscuits from each batch. And you know, it didn't always happen like this. I screwed it up so many times before I started getting it right. So if you haven't cooked biscuits, give yourself a break. It is easy in the scheme of baking things. It's very easy, but there's still a learning curve. All right. So now I've got that back together, trying to do that without having to work it, you know. Again, you want it worked as little as possible. Alrighty. So now we get this. And this always happens for me, and this is, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is Franken biscuit, or Monster biscuit, or do you remember any of the other names I've given it? No? It's a big old biscuit. It's what's left over. I could make one perfect biscuit. What was that?
I said my favorite biscuit is the Franken biscuit.
It's his favorite biscuit. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. It looks pretty funny, but there's no point in wasting it. I just make one big biscuit instead of one final, exactly the same as everything else, biscuit. Okay. Now, let me get this. I don't know if y'all can hear this dog or not, but he's just rolling around on his back on the floor. It sounds like a bear in the woods. All right. Now we're going to put this in the oven, which is preheated, or it's preheating, so y'all won't see this part. I'll take a picture of the finished product. 475 for 10 to 12 minutes. I typically do 10 minutes. With sweet potato biscuits, it'll be a little bit more moist, so add 1 or 2 minutes. Make it as golden brown as you want it to be. Oh, all right, guys. I got to get my hands clean. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Have a good day today. You're awesome. Bye.